Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. It's Thursday, the 13th of February, and I'm Curtis Morton. In our headlines, Naba Chargers defeat Sandy Point Falcons, and in our feature for this evening, we hear from the president of the Nevis Cricket Association, Carlisle Powell. We'll take this break, and I'll be right back.
Taxes are the lifeblood of a nation. Feel good about what your tax dollars do in Nevis. As a responsible citizen, your tax dollars protect our environment. Pay your taxes on time. This message was brought to you by the Inland Revenue Department, Nevis.
Be a responsible citizen.
Well, I'm back and we start with cricket. West Indies batting great Brian Lara put on a phenomenal batting display on Sunday in Australia to highlight the Bushfire Bash, the 10-over-per-side match to raise funds for the bushfire relief. The Prince of Port of Spain, the master batsman who made the magical 400 in Test cricket, demonstrated once again, this time at age 50, why he's still revered all over the world. Lara top scored with 30 off 11 balls before he retired in a festive event, which was a great entertainment for the fun-loving fans at the Junction Oval in Melbourne. He played some audacious strokes, the best a sensational 6 over extra cover, which sailed into the stands. The Ricky Ponting 11 finished on 104 for 5 and won by 1 run, as they held the Adam Gilchrist 11 to 103 for 6 from their 10 overs. There was also a piece of great bowling from fast bowling legend Courtney Walsh, as he produced a Jaffa to get rid of Justin Langer in the early exchanges. The match marked a superb gathering of some of the greatest cricketers of all times, among them Lara, Walsh, Ponting, Gilchrist, Sachin Tendulkar, Wasim Akram, Matthew Hayden, as well as other Aussie World Cup winners Brad Haddin and Andrew Simons, and Indian World Cup winner Yuvraj Singh. The Bushfire charity cricket match managed to raise over US $7.7 million for the communities devastated by the fires. Good news that. Now to basketball, the Naba Chargers continue their winning ways in the youth tournament being held in St. Kitts. On Friday, 7th February, the Naba Chargers defeated Sandy Point Fruita Falcons 75 to 41. For the Chargers, Julian Emilian, he got 18 points, 4 steals. Kijari Huggins, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Kijano Williams, 11 points, 13 rebounds. Stevenson Providence, 8 points, 22 rebounds. For the Falcons, Garfield Hodge, 15 points, 9 rebounds. Amir Gums, 8 points, 2 rebounds. And Kijon Bori, 8 points, 5 steals. And we congratulate the Naba Chargers on their winning ways. We go to break, and when I come back, we'll have our feature for this evening.
Here are your Horsfield's Value Mart IGA Value Club Blue Tag specials from January 31st through February 13th. Minute Maid lemonades and punches, just $7.99 each. Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars, just $10.99. IGA peanut butter, creamy and crunchy, $9.99 each. Tide Times 2 liquid detergent and Tide Pods, 20 count, $29.99 each. V8 Fusion and Energy Drink, $12.99 each. IGA Margarine Spread, just $14.99. Essential Everyday Deli Sliced Cheeses, 8 ounces, $8.99. Broccoli Crowns are just $9.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Instant Oatmeal, $7.99 each. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras a Value Mart.
Well, I'm back, and tonight cricket is in the spotlight. On Tuesday of this week, Nevis's cricket chief, Carlisle Powell, sat down with NTV Sports Page to give an update as to his association's progress after its first meeting, held on Monday, 10th February. Let's take in this exclusive interview with Mr. Carlisle Powell. Last time I sat in this chair, I was talking to Carlisle Powell. Today I'm sitting in the same chair, but I'm now sitting and talking to President Carlisle Powell. A week makes a difference. Carlisle, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Curtis, and thanks to all the clubs and the people out there who sided with our side of the campaign and decided to support Nevis cricket.
Speaking of campaign, Carlisle, I once saw a quotation from a politician who said that you tell the people what they want to hear. and then a couple of years go along, and then when your time is almost finished, you do a couple of things to make them happy, and then you tell them, well, I didn't finish the job, so put me back again. Are you one of those types of presidents?
Those are reckless people, and the people who follow those kind of people are even more reckless. I told the people what the situation in Nevis was at the time, is now, and told the people that we plan to change the situation. The term is 2 years, Curtis. If at the end of 2 years we have not made the strides that I said that we would, I would not contest the elections.
Great. Now, you would have had your first meeting, I believe, on Monday, yesterday. So could you give us a little bit of an update? Because I know you have some plans that you want to put into immediate effect. And you have a very dynamic looking executive makeup. And I must say it's nice to see a former president of the Netball Association is part of that setup and so on. So give us an update.
Well, we had an excellent meeting. There were a number of first-timers to the Nevis Cricket Association management team, but I was very pleasantly surprised at how well the meeting went yesterday and the participation of those first-timers in the meeting. It was a beautiful meeting. We had an update from Denrick Liebert on the Leeward Island activities and the schedules and so on. And so we are now aware that the annual general meeting for Leewards will take place in Antigua on March 14th. We are aware that the Under-19 tournament is going to be in June, July tentatively. The women's trials will be in Antigua on March 4th to 8th. And that the seniors tournament is scheduled for September. The under-15s and under-17s are scheduled for December. And so we as an organization, as a new administration, we now have to make sure that we get all the bits and pieces in place. The consent forms for the age group players, we understand are still overdue, have not been signed and returned by Nevis yet, for those players who are selected to those age group teams. And so we had those printed. We're going to contact the parents and guardians, get those signed, get those back to the Leewards board in a hurry. We also had an update from the Territorial Development Officer for Nevis, who is Tassius Wallace. And from that, we learned that there is a foundation course for coaches, which will be held in Nevis on the 27th of February. It is a free course, and it will be at the Red Cross building. We're encouraging all coaches who work with teams and those who aspire to work with teams to be a part of that. We also set up some committees, Curtis, and we set up 6 committees. These include finance and sponsorship, membership, and we intend to go back to getting individual, ordinary members of the association. We have a cricket committee, we have a disciplinary tribunal, we have a committee that will be looking after scoring and logistics, so that if anybody from any team anywhere in the world call and say, give us some statistics on Curtis Morton, we want him to play for our club, we will just go to the chairperson of that committee and say, listen, can you provide the stats? And that should be done very quickly. We have one on grounds, and so we will be looking to move forward with these committees. Over the course of the week, we will be contacting all of the persons who we have tentatively pending on these committees and asking them to help us to serve on these committees. The other immediate thing that we are looking at, we have set a deadline of the next 14 days to contact every single cricket club in Nevis and invite them to send representatives to a meeting with the management of the association. Because what we want to do is to just draw a line and say that the past is in the past. And all those clubs who were not allowed to vote and to participate in the annual general meeting, we're saying, no, this is a new administration. Come on board, because we want every club to help us to build Nevis cricket. Come on board with us now. We will tell you what the membership fees are. We are not going to be asking for any back fees. So we'll tell you what the membership fees are. We'll tell you what the registration fees are. We will invite you to register to the Nevis Cricket Association so that we can then make the next step and make schedules for matches. So the first thing, within the next couple of weeks, meet with the clubs, invite them to register. We'll have the registration forms there. The fees remain exactly the same, Curtis. $250 and $150. So even before the meeting, people can start getting their funds together, because we intend to move forward harmoniously with all the clubs on board.
Stick a pin, Carlisle. membership and registration. Is there a difference or one covers both?
Well, we're changing it so that people will know what it is for you to register in Nevis. We will not be telling you you pay one or the other. We'll be telling you to pay both. But what we have done is to separate the one fee that you used to have, and we're now saying that you will pay $200 per year to register to the Cricket Association if you're in Division 1. And that then you will pay $50 for membership. And then in Division 2, we'll ask you for $100 for registration and $50 for membership. So it is the same fee, but we will be separating it so that people could see the difference.
That makes a lot of sense. And of course, I'm not sure if the meeting touched that aspect, but it's a point that you brought up in your campaign proposal, the aspect of the immediate improvements of the E.T. Willett Park.
Absolutely, but that is something that we'll have to bring up with the Minister of Sport. Incidentally, I've already made contact with the Minister of Sport, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, and requested a meeting with him. He responded and said that he will advise me, so that when we meet with the Minister of Sport, there are different things that we will bring up, all of which pertain to cricket and the development of cricket in Nevis. That would include what are their plans for the development of the park. We know that they said they earmarked 15 million. We want to know where they are at with that. We will be asking kindly for the return of the offices at the E.T. Willett Park. When I left, we had a fully functioning office there at the park. So we'll be asking the government.
I understand you already have some computers.
Well, yes, we have somebody who was kindly consented to donating 2 desktops, 2 laptops, a tablet, and a camera for the Cricket Association, because we want to be able to live stream matches. Whether they are at the park or they are at some out venue, we want to be able to say to people who want to see cricket, who have been dying to see cricket, once we have internet connection at the grounds and we have this camera, we'll just live stream the matches as the West Indies Cricket Board do. It's not something difficult.
Okay. So in terms of the 2 weeks, 14 days, then you get the clubs together, a meeting. What time you visualize the first match, whether it's a 10-10 for a kind of revival or full-blown tournament? What time you forecast you might have the first on-the-field action?
We're not too sure about official on-the-field matches in terms of cup matches yet, because we have a cricket committee and we want them to make recommendations to us in terms of which matches go first, what matches are good for Nevis. Yeah, but in the meantime, what we want to do, Curtis, those under 17 players who are getting ready for their tournament, the women who are getting ready for their tournament, we want to be able to assist them as an association. So we intend to play an integral part in all of those preparations that they're doing. We know the women will be hosting St. Kitts on the 22nd of February. And so we want to help our women. We understand that Tonito Willett is assisting, that Saneldo is player coach. We want to take some of the pressure off of the women in terms of them organizing the matches. And we want to fully embrace the women's matches so that the association will now do a lot of those jobs that they have been doing.
Well, that's brilliant, because I understand that, well, I've been reporting on matches played over in St. Kitts. So finally, the St. Kitts females will be coming over to play a match at the ETW.
Correct. And I should say we had nothing to do with that. Those plans were in place before we came on board. But we intend to be physically present during that game on the 22nd. We intend to be present for the ladies before the 22nd. And as you're aware, we did say that in my campaigning, I said we wanted to have a minimum of 3 ladies elected to the management. We got 4. Okay. No, we got 4, including Saneldo Willett, who is still playing actively. And so we intend to fully represent women's issues.
Now, finally, Carlisle, Masters cricket. Masters, they have their own setup. They have a president, they have a coach, etc., etc. But I've always noticed that there seems to be a hands-off from a Nevis Cricket Association perspective and Masters. Masters always seem to be sailing on the ocean by themselves. How can you reconcile without rocking the boat, so to speak?
Well, that boat is such a massive boat that it can't be easily rocked. Masters, they've been doing an excellent job in terms of their organization, in terms of their preparedness for matches, in terms of representing Nevis. What we would want to do is to embrace the Masters cricket. I think what has been a little bit lacking for the Masters is the management of the matches themselves. So if we can help the Masters, we would be happy to do so. And I say management because, Curtis, you play for the Masters. And when I look and I see some of the scores and the reports coming from the games, I'm sure that Nevis, we have lost about 2 or 3 tournaments that we should have won. If we had maybe steadier heads around the team, and I know the players are all senior, they all believe that they know exactly what needs to be done. But sometimes you need an old experienced hand to be able to, who the players trust, who can say to the players, listen, you only have 100 runs to make. This should be our approach going after those 100 runs. Don't celebrate until you're at 101. Because I know there was a tournament there, I think might have been in the Virgin Islands, yes, that we ought to have won. But it seemed to me as if we started celebrating before we won the game.
When I got out, I think we were 61 for 2. And we couldn't make 107.
Yeah. And you see, things like those, I hate losing matches like those. Yeah. You have to beat me. I'm not going to fold for you to win.
So is there a possibility that we could once again get, like, say, a Masters team back in second division?
That would be absolutely brilliant. Hopefully it would not be to the detriment of the other clubs who right now have Masters players playing.
Well, there was a suggestion, and I'm certain that you're open to such suggestions, that maybe, let's say, for instance, I will play for Jets. But when Jets is not playing a game and Masters is playing, that I could duplicate and play for Masters against another team, but not against Jets. Is that a possibility?
The logistics would be a little difficult because what it means is that you'd be playing against some teams more than once. You'll play for them for Jets and you'll play for them for Masters. And so at the end of the tournament, the statistics would be
a little
funny. So it would be funny. But it would be very good to work with Masters. I'm anticipating that as you prepare for tournaments, you would invite the Nevis Cricket Association. Listen, can you send me an 11 so that we can play some practice matches? Because you can practice all you want. My years of sitting on the bench says that match day is totally different to practice. And so I would want to help the Masters to sharpen up when you're going to tournaments. And I would want you to help us to sharpen up when we're sending teams out there to tournaments as well.
Because I vaguely remember, I don't know if you remember when Denrick was in his heyday. Denrick Fleming. Yes. And I remember playing at the ETW for a Masters setup against a youth team with a flying Denrick. I made 90-something that day. I don't know if you remember.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
We helped organize those matches. Yeah. And it is important. There is no sense in sending a Nevis team because you say Masters. We are going to say Nevis. It's a Nevis team, albeit that you have your own structure. But you're going out there to represent Nevis. And we have cricketers in Nevis who can help you practice and train and so on, and we don't help you. It just makes sense for us to work together.
Carlyle, any final words as we look forward to an exciting year of cricket?
Well, we're looking forward to the meeting with the minister so that we can, exchange ideas. And second to that, we're looking forward. We want to change the way that things have been done. We said we'd bring cricket to Nevis. We want people to see cricket in Nevis. And so one of the first things we have to do is to find out the cost of these tournaments and see if instead of us spending whatever money to go to tournaments, if we can put in a bid to host one of these setups on Nevis. Right now, the March and June tournaments might be a little bit close, but there is one which is scheduled for December. And so we're saying right now that we are thinking in terms of putting in a bid to host one of these tournaments in Nevis. Because remember, we said we would bring cricket back. And this is one of the ways of bringing cricket back. So we look at the numbers. We'll meet with the minister when he's available. And hopefully by the next time we speak, I will be able to say to you that we have had the meeting, we have the green light to proceed, and that we are moving forward.
Carlyle, that's brilliant because I remember distinctly. It's like yesterday. I've been covering cricket, for umpteen years. At the Villa grounds, Sylvester Joseph and we're not promoting
Yes.
under 19
Yes.
Leeward's tournament right there at the Villa.
Ding dong battle. We brought the tournament to
People
Nevis.
were here to
Yes,
watch it. You know?
yes, that was way back when I was president.
Yeah. So if we could get back those moments, of course the crowds will come back.
Absolutely. And the parents want to see their children perform at home, not just overseas.
Well, Carlisle, thank you so much. And again, congratulations. And you seem to have a committee that is not only there in name, but willing to work. So we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. And the meeting yesterday, lovely meeting. And we completed that meeting in about an hour and 45 minutes, despite very vibrant discussions. So we're looking to structure the thing, get back to good administration, get back to cricket on the field, and involving a lot of people outside of the management itself. Yesterday, I tell you, Curtis, some of the names which were proposed, people were wondering, you sure about this? I said, well, I haven't asked them yet, but there are some of the people who have been telling me they want to see cricket come back. And so if they want it back, I'm sure that they will be able to assist.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you very much.
We certainly wish the association all the best in their endeavors. That's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you are not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.